Hi everyone, my name is Leo and in this video we will share a demo review of the brand new Mooer GE 100 Pro. First of all, we will hear the unit in action with the demo song, then I'll describe the main characteristics of the GE 100 Pro. After that we will hear more sounds, also performing our beloved NULL test against a real tube amp, and finally I'll give you my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoy and please subscribe and ring the bell to help me to create more content like this. Let's start with the demo song. Let's now describe the Mooer GE 100 Pro. A bit of context first. The original GE 100 came out back in 2015 as a simple, affordable, entry-level processor. This GE 100 Pro is the modern successor built on Mooer's third generation hardware platform, and Mooer is marketing it as their first AI-powered multi-effects aimed at beginners. So it shares a name with the old GE100, but it is a very different machine. We have around 70 amp simulations and around 65 cabinets. Of course, we have all the most famous amps at our disposal with Marshall, Fender, Vox, Mesa Boogie, Soldano, Orange, and so on. And there are also some bass amps as well. Furthermore, we can also use amp profiles done with the Mooer GE Labs app, and we can download profiles from the Mooer Studio website, where there are also some of my own profiles that you can download for free. And here's the big addition on this unit. On top of Mooer's own capture technology, the GE100 Pro also supports NAMM profiles. Through the Mooer Studio software we can load drive, preamp and full amp captures in Mooer's GNR format, plus cab captures in GIR, and there is a built-in plugin to import NAMM profiles directly. So at this price point we can feed the unit with a huge library of community captures of real amps and cabs. We will test exactly how faithful it reproduces a NAMM file in the sound section, considering that it translates the NAMM profiles in its own format. We can also load our own IRs into the cabinet block. We have 20 user IR slots and the IRs are at up to 512 sample points. So here I would say that we have a pretty complete set of amps, cabs, etc. Even if, as expected, we don't have all the advanced features of the bigger G1000, with its boutique amps, separate preamp and power amps, and so on. But the captures support, and especially NUM, on an entry-level unit is something I really value. By the way, we can load NUM profiles just using the computer app, and when loading them, the app downloads automatically a plugin that converts the NUM profiles in the Mooer proprietary format. We have 20 slots in the amp section to load NUM profiles and other 10 in the overdrive effect block. Then we have the effects. We have approximately 6 wah, a couple of compressors plus a limiter, around 35 overdrives and distortions, 6 EQs, 3 noise reduction modules, around 27 modulations, 12 delays and 9 reverbs. So a pretty complete set of effects, considering the price of this unit. The amps, cabs and effects can be stored in 150 preset slots, organized as 50 banks of 3 presets each. Of course, we have also an 80-second stereo looper and a drum machine with 40 grooves and 10 metronome patterns for daily practice and songwriting. Let's now talk about the signal chain. Here we have 10 effect blocks that we can arrange freely in any order we want, and we can even stack more than one instance of the same type of block. For instance, like 2 overdrives. That was one of my main criticisms of the G150, so it's good to see it addressed here. In terms of the interface, I would mention the UI on a 3.5 inches color display. We have 3 foot switches, A, B and C, and a built-in expression pedal that can work as a volume pedal or be assigned to an effect parameter, including wah. Here you can check out the excursion of the expression pedal. To be noticed that the screen is not touch sensitive. There is an AI side to it as well. The Mooer AI assistant acts as a personal tone manager. We describe the sound we want and it generates tone settings for us to audition. There is also an AI Steam Lab which does track separation, so we can isolate guitar, drums or vocals from a song for practice purposes. Let's now talk about the I/O. We have a guitar input, stereo, unbalanced left and right outputs in separate sockets, an headphone out, then there are 2 USB-C ports. The one marked USB is the data port used for the desktop editor, OTG recording and the audio interface. The other, marked 5V 2 amperes, is the dedicated power and charging port. As an audio interface, the unit runs at 24 bits, 44.1 kHz, with 2 in and 2 audio USB channels, and we can also connect it to a phone or tablet for OTG audio recording and playback. For editing, we have a desktop editor for Windows and Mac, plus a mobile app over Bluetooth, as it also have Bluetooth, also for streaming audio. Finally, the physical side. The unit comes in 2 versions, the standard G100 Pro, which runs from the included power adapter, and the G100 Pro Li, that is this one, which has a built-in lithium battery for home, outdoor and mobile use. The battery is at 2000 mAh and lasts around about 9 hours, which is plenty for practice session or a gig. The dimension and weight are shown in the screen, and the price is G100 Pro standard $129 and 109 euros, and the version with the battery is at $149 and 129 euros, which I think are pretty good prices for what this unit offers. Let's now move to the sound section. Welcome to the more sound section of this video. We will now hear some more sounds extracted from the demo song, then we will perform our beloved NULL Test versus a real tube amp, and finally I will let you listen the dynamic range and note envelope test, still against a real tube amp. Let's start with some sounds extracted from the demo song. Now let's perform our beloved NULL test. For those of you who doesn't know, the NULL test is based on the principle that if we play two sounds with one of them phase inverted, the lower is the resulting LUFS, the more the two sounds are similar. Now, I have loaded inside the G100 Pro my NULL profile of the Soldano SL100, and we are going to compare the two. Just for reference, we will also check out the NULL test results for other units like the Sonic Cake Pocket Master. Let's start. So, summarizing, we have Mooer G100 Pro minus 26.5 LUFS, Sonic Cake Pocket Master minus 27.3, and for instance the NULL plugin loaded in our computer without any conversion minus 40.8. And now let's perform the dynamic range management and note envelope tests. Considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, Mooer has sent me this unit for free, and this video is sponsored, but Mooer has not seen the video before you, and they have not checked out the script, and as usually I'm free to tell you whatever I want. And please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to help me to create more content like this. Overall, the G100 Pro is a capable entry-level unit that does a lot for the money. Let me go through what stands out. The Pro first. First of all, NULL capture support with 10 effect blocks that are swappable and replicable at this price is the big one for me. Loading NULL profiles with these effects is usually something you see on more expensive or computer-based gear, and having it on an entry-level pedal opens the door to a huge library of community amp captures without spending much. Then I would add that it isn't a stripped-down version toy. You get the amps, cabs, effects, a looper, a drum machine, a tuner, a built-in expression pedal, an audio interface, Bluetooth audio, full editing from both desktop and phone app. I mean, for someone starting out or wanting a compact second rig, very little is missing here. Furthermore, the G100 Pro Li runs from a built-in lithium battery, so we can get rid of the power cable and any noise that can come from a power plug. The more I use battery-powered boards, the more I enjoy them, especially when practicing. I would also add that it seems pretty robust, and I can say that from an unusual angle. The parcel with my G100 Pro was actually delivered to my neighbor by mistake, and his dogs got hold of the box, opened it, and had a proper chew on the unit itself. They basically play with this unit. When I finally got it back, the G100 had teeth marks on it, but it was completely working with no real damage. Now, I would not recommend that as a stress test, but it survived a couple of docks, so it gives me some confidence about how robust it is. I would also mention that we can reorder the blocks and even stack two of the same type, and that's not something very common at this price point. Furthermore, we also have Bluetooth audio for backing tracks and for controlling the unit with our phone. And I think that the effects are actually quite good considering the price of the unit. Lastly, I would mention the AI features, I mean the assistant that generates a tone from description. I won't oversell these, but for a beginner they can be genuinely useful starting points. And now the cons. The two USB ports can trip you up. There are two USB-C sockets and they do different jobs. The one you connect to the computer for editing does not power or charge the unit. To charge this unit you have to use the separate 5 volts 2 ampere power port. So if you are editing at your desk and the battery is low, the data cable won't keep it topped up. You need the second cable in the power port at the same time. It's not a deal breaker, but it's worth knowing. Second, the audio interface runs at 44.1 kHz. I would have preferred the option of 48, which is the standard in a lot of video and recording workflow. Actually, nothing more comes to my mind, also considering the price of this unit. We could add the missing microphone simulations, the missing parallel effect chains, but I mean, for this price point, we already have a lot of options here. All in all, I think the G100 Pro is a solid, well-equipped entry-level machine, and the NULL support plus a flexible chain at this price range are the things that make it stand out from other devices in this price range, in my opinion. And now please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. It would be interesting to know which feature is, for you, mandatory at this price point for an entry-level unit, and whether NULL support is something you'd actually use. We have now reached the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of a great help. If you're interested in my IR, NULL profiles, or camper profiles, or Tonics profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or the description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine and to my new EP, Art, Love, Freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.